thank you for bringing us here this afternoon, and we thank you for the life that we have. We pray that each and everything that is going to be discussed here and shared upon the media this afternoon should be very fruitful and a true representation of issues that are at hand. We also pray for our former president, Arthur Peter Mutharika. We pray for his good health. We also pray for the good life of his entire family. We're also praying for the Democratic Progressive Party political gurus, the members, and each and everybody that contributes to the party itself. We also pray for the media that have gathered here this afternoon to collect information that is indeed very, very vital for the country, locally and abroad. In Jesus Christ, please be with us, our dear Lord. Amen.
Your Excellency, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, we want to thank you. I thank you on behalf of the media for giving us the opportunity today to interact with you here in Mangochi. Before I actually say the opening remarks, I would like to ask the members of the media here to introduce themselves so that we know each other. I may just add, Your Excellency, that from the list that I gave you, we have added one more media house, Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, who were not on the original list, but they were able to come after they heard that their colleagues were here this afternoon. So can we start with introductions first? Is somebody going to do all the introductions, or is it self-introductions? Okay.
Your Excellency, my name is Brenda Kaonga from Midge Radio.
From where?
Midge Radio.
Oh, Midge Radio, okay.
Your Excellency, my name is Johannes Simon from Times Media Group.
My name is Peter Chimbali, engineer, Zodiac.
Kondon Kambule, Zodiac.
Your Excellency, I'm Austin Kachipea, MBC.
Your Excellency, my name is Emmanuel Chimwana for ZBS.
My name is Gabriel Kamlomo. I'm from Zodiac as well.
Your Excellency, my name is George Mohango from Rainbow Television.
Your Excellency, my name is Taufik Chipinga from Rainbow TV.
Nyengo Msisia, MBC.
Your Excellency, I'm Hezekiah Namonde from Zodiac.
I'm Kondwani Mohone from Times.
I think they want to put people outside, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
They also introduce themselves.
Yes.
So we get to know them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Excellency, once again, I want to thank you for accepting our request to come and interact with you this afternoon. The media personnel practitioners that you see here, Your Excellency, have been pushing almost every day for this opportunity to come and talk to Your Excellency. And I want to thank you that today you have set aside this time to talk to the media. There are other media houses that are not here because we could not accommodate everybody else because of the requirements of the COVID pandemic. So we left the other media houses, and we'll be coming back at some point with the other media houses that want to come and see Your Excellency. Your Excellency, now may I request you to welcome the team to your residency here, after which we shall ask them to ask the questions that they have and then we shall take it up from there. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you. Thank you.
Very much. Let me welcome you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to welcome you to my retirement home here in Mangoishi. I apologize that you might find our home very comfortable because we moved in before we finished. So I saw in the process of construction. You can see that in front there's earth, also in the back, because we don't have enough cement. In spite of the 5 billion worth of cement I'm supposed to have owned, right? It's complete nonsense. I don't have enough cement actually to complete the runway and the front. As you can see, I can't afford it. So I'm waiting to get some money to finish that. But on a more serious note, I told you that you want to see me for various reasons. And surprisingly, I was told that some of you miss me. I was very surprised. I thought you all hated me, but now that you miss me, I'm so pleased. I miss you too, actually. I miss the last 3 months. It's been very quiet, away from the hell and battle of frontline politics and government and interaction with the press, of course. I miss you that. So I'm glad that you have an opportunity to ask me some questions. I'll try to answer them candidly as I can. And of course, next time we'll get other media houses to also come and do the same. I'm told that you have been wondering why I've kept quiet. You've been asking why I've not addressed the people of this country and why I've not conducted public functions. I think you're right. I know you're asking because you miss me. I miss you too. But as you know, there was a change of government following the so-called fresh presidential elections of June 23rd. After I left the presidency, I decided that I'll give my successor time and space to establish himself, to succeed or fail without my involvement. I'm a Democrat and I understand the need to have one president at a time. And the only way I could help him establish himself was by giving him space, which I did. In fact, it's very customary in many countries, especially the United States, that our former president never criticized our sitting president. It's just custom that happens in the United States. It's very, very, very rare you'll find a sitting president criticizing our former president or vice versa. It doesn't happen. So I decided to do that. Now remember that from around February, March, April, May, and June, our country was facing a major threat to our lives, the threat of coronavirus pandemic. As at present, I preside over the precautionary means that we introduce in this country. Measures like washing of hands with soap every so often, social distancing, and the wearing of masks. I did not want to be the first person to violate the same measures that my government had put in place. It was either for my successor and others and his team, because they spent a lot of energy convincing Malawians that there was no coronavirus in our country. They have found out now that they lied to Malawians. There is, in fact, coronavirus. That coronavirus is real, and that Malawi has not been spared of this health crisis. That is why I decided not to hold any public meetings in order not to expose innocent people to the pandemic. I just want to assure you, Malawians, members, supporters of the Democratic Progressive Party, that in 2020, I made a promise to your members at Ndata. Actually, it was April 23rd at Ndata, that I'll never leave the DPP alone, and I'll never leave this country. This was my message at the funeral of my brother, who died several days before that. Before Bingu died, many people, after his death, many people left the party. In fact, our Secretary General left, our first Vice President left, all sorts of people left. In the parliament, we had 144 members of parliament. 111 left. Only 33 were left. The party was almost dead. It was broke. It had no structures. We decided to build it. We decided, wait up for about 6 months, and started organizing rallies. At first, I was very reluctant. I said, where should we have the first rally? They said we should have it at Njamba Park. I said, no, not in Njamba. I'm not sure people are going to come. So I said, we'll have the first rally in Cholo. At least people from Goliath will come. So we had it in Cholo, and it was just amazing. The number of people came. By 9 in the morning, the whole ground at Cholo was full. The market there, the bomb was full by 9 o'clock. The next one was at Mugona in Longway. After that, in Mzuzu. After that, Balaka. Then after that, then we went to Njamba. And to the biggest rally, I was told it was the largest crowd since the Pope came to Malawi in 1978. It was amazing. That's how we rebuilt the party from nothing. But it took time to organize the party. The reason I'm saying this is because the impatience that's being shown for some people. I don't know what the rush is. Today is exactly 3 months since we had the election. Exactly 3 months, 23rd. And we have 4.5 years to go before the next election. I don't know what the obsession is. For example, that we must hold a convention immediately. I tell you why. I'm not clinging to this job. This is a very difficult job. Running the party is even more difficult than running the government in terms of the challenges, the demands that you face. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But one must act responsibly. I could have said, I'm going to stop it today. Let someone take over. But I think it will be irresponsible. So what we decided to do, we met here, Central Committee. We have been meeting, for the last meeting was last Wednesday. We decided the following, that one, we have appointed a functional review committee. This committee is working with various consultants to work on restructuring and recasting the party. And that's supposed to report on October 31st. After the committee reports, we'll look at it, and then we'll call National Governing Council to look at the report. And then after that, the National Governing Council, on the basis of the report, will begin the process of reorganizing the party from area, zone, constituency, district, region. That has not been done since 2005. 15 years ago, when this party was formed. It has never been reviewed, so we're working on that. We're doing a functional review. After we review after we restructure the party, then of course we'll call a convention. And I'm ready to support whoever is legitimately elected at the convention. But I will not support people, selfish people who want to take this party, hijack it, and sell it to the highest bidder. That I will not allow. So we'll do that, and the convention will meet, we'll select a new leader, and any leader who is selected legitimately at the convention, I'll support that leader. I'm not going to appoint anybody. This is a party, this is not a kingdom, it's a democratic party. People come, open convention, and then we have the election. But we don't need to rush. Now, some people are acting very irresponsibly. Yesterday, there were a group of people in Iran who had a press conference, and they were saying how, unless there's a convention next week or whatever, they're going to shut down all the branches, all the offices of the party. That's completely irresponsible. And this person has been in the party for less than a year. He used to be in PP. Totally irresponsible. And that kind of behavior is irresponsible and called for. And there are mechanisms in the party. There are mechanisms for complaint. That kind of action, in fact, breaches party discipline. You don't go to a press conference in order to raise matters within the party. That's irresponsible. And I want to caution those people that they're going to face, they may have to face disciplinary action because that behavior is irresponsible and divisive of the party. So much for that. So today, I want to repeat the promise I made in that but I'll never leave the party or members of the DPP. I'll never forsake you. I'll never desert you. I'll never abandon the DPP. I'll guide my party to the next convention, where we select a successor as president of our party. And I'll support whoever will be democratically elected at our convention. I'll support him or her all the way to the next general election, where the DPP will bounce back into government. But I'll fight any selfish individual who wants to destroy this party for personal ambition and to sell this party to the highest bidder. That I'll fight him. So with these remarks, let me stop here, and I'm glad to answer your questions. When you ask the questions, introduce yourself again, what organization, what media house you belong to, and I'll be glad to answer your questions as candidly and as completely as I can. Thank you very much for your attention.
Your Excellency, my name is Gabriel from Zodiac.
From where?
From Zodiac.
Okay. Maybe you may want to remove the mask when you're asking. It's okay. Very hard to hear.
Okay.
I can also see your face.
Oh, sure.
It's hard to tell.
Your Excellency, I noticed that you put very much stress on the so-called fresh presidential election in the statement that you just gave.
Yes.
I would like to appreciate why you do still wish to call it a so-called.
Well, I call it so-called because, first of all, I think the whole thing was a farce. The nullification of the presidency was a farce, was against the law. The law was very clear, and the court found that it was not irregular, and that the irregularity did not affect the results. The outcome of the case won the election, and that was very clear. And they went ahead, for example, introduced the 50+1 just to bar me from winning the election, because there was no 50+1 in the law, according to the Supreme Court in Chakwamba case. So that's why I say the so-called fresh election. And as you know, the election was marred by violence in the central region. There were no monitors, and where there were monitors, they were beaten up. And the absence of monitors, all sorts of rigging was done. So it was a farce. We did not lose the election. We lost the government. That's why I'm saying it's so-called election. Because this election was worse than the one that was nullified. We could have signed it in court or MEC. But we decided that it wasn't worth it. The country has gone through almost a year of violence, destruction. We didn't want to have another year of violence and destruction. It's better. The country now is bigger than individual ambition. So I said, I'm willing to go. That's fine with me. I'm willing to go. I've been, for 74 years of my life, I was not president. So I lived a very happy life. So I don't have to stay there. Cling to it. It's not worth it. There was no point. So that's why I say it's so-called, because I think this election, this one, the fresh one, was worse in terms of the rigging and all these things that happened. It was a complete travesty. A complete travesty. That's why I say so-called election.
Right. I was going to ask a second question based on what you have just said. My summary of what you have said is that there seems to be some kind of disorder in the DPP after you left government. Would you agree?
There seems to be some kind of
disorder
yes.
in the intra-party after you left government. Would you agree with that observation?
Well, not disorder as such. I think certain individuals who, for whatever reason, decided that we should have a convention immediately. It's only 3 months after the election. We should have a convention. I say, how are we going to have the convention when all the structures of the party have collapsed over the last 5 years? There are no structures. Who are going to be the delegates? Who's going to go there to the convention? That's why we have this review. After review, NGC was beginning to rebuild all the structures. Then those people who come in at this level, constituency, whatever, those will be the delegates to the convention. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how things work. I remember in 1963, President Nyerere, after he won the election, Prime Minister, he decided of Tanzania. He said, then it was Tanganyika, before he joined with Zanzibar. He decided to resign as Prime Minister and appoint his deputy, Rashid Kawawa, as Prime Minister. He went into the country for 1 year, reorganized the party. They came back and then ran as the president of the party. From then to today, CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, is the strongest party. Nobody can ever defeat that party for the next 50 years. Never. It don't happen. Because the party was properly organized. That's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the basics. We have consultants. Let's organize this party. Then we have a convention, and the party will be very strong. It's only 3 months since the election. I'm saying, what's the hurry? We are rushing to. There are 5 years to go before the election. That's what I said. So you are right, but it's not really. What word did you use? You said disarray? Disorder. Or disorder. It's not a disorder. I think it's a few individuals who have this flaming ambition to be leaders that they can't wait to have the convention. Now, it will be irresponsible. I could say, fine. You take it. I could say, fine. I'm going to leave it. Let's have a convention tomorrow. But it will be irresponsible. It will be irresponsible because it will create a structure which will even be weaker than the one that is now. That's why I have this process in place. The commission is working. I talk to them almost every week. And then we'll have NGC and implement whatever they recommend. And then we'll have a convention. Then I'll leave. It's what I'm clinging to this job. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not.
Your Excellency, my name is George Muhango. I have 2 questions. The first one is to do with the elapsing of 100 plus days by the current government. How would you rate it? Secondly, what is your reaction towards the sentencing of Zomera Ngwira in the north, who happened to be the DPP Tsar in the north, and then Uladi Musa? What is your reaction towards these kind of sentences that are?
Let's answer the second one first. It's very sad what has happened. These are people who maybe apparently they made some kind of mistakes, I understand. And this has happened. It's very sad. They're both good people. I feel sorry for their family, and I wish them well. If they are going to serve the terms, custodial terms, I wish them well. And we will pray for them. We'll pray for them until they come out. Now, on rating the 101 days, I really can't rate it because I don't see much that has been done so far, other than inspecting my projects. That I did, whether it's the interchange or the hotels, I negotiated 5-star hotel in Blantyre and all those things. The Grand Business Park in Lilongwe, that a person negotiated in China, personally negotiated both a Grand Business Park. When that is finished, you won't have to go to China to buy hardware goods. They'll be sold here. And this Malawi will be a hub for the whole southern region. The whole South African region, SADC region. They'll be buying from here. It's a big project. I negotiated that, and also the 5-star hotel in Blantyre, and many other, which was open today, and many other projects. And I'm glad that the government has decided to adopt our projects and continue with them, including skills development. I'm saddened that they've budgeted for only one community technical college, but they'll continue all our policies and our projects. So it's hard to rate them because I haven't seen anything new, anything different from what we have been doing. So we'll wait and see as time goes on. And the next time, after some time, when they've started their projects and we see them, they'll be in a better position to rate. But at the moment, I can't rate them because I haven't really seen what they've done so far.
Your Excellency, my name is Brenda Kaonga from Midge Radio.
Right.
For the past 3 months, there have been revelations of corruption, which is alleged to have happened during your administration.
Yeah.
I just wanted to appreciate what do you make out of such revelations. Secondly,
what I make out of the?
revelations of alleged corruption which may have happened.
I can't get the deviation?
Revelations.
Or revelation?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Secondly, as a leader of the DPP, why do you feel Malawians did not vote for your party? And are you regretting that you're out of government at the moment?
Okay. Thank you very much. On the face of the revelation of corruption, yeah, I'm aware of that, but I've always said, I think I said many times when I was government, that we have a zero policy on corruption. Nobody condones corruption. I said corruption everywhere, but it's not the job of one person. You see, we have civil service, we have ministers, we have parastatals, we have local councils, all of them, all over the country, all involved in sometimes some kind of corruption. There's no way one person can oversee all that and stop it. I say it's a collective responsibility, all of us. I said, look, if there's corruption somewhere, you find about one report. I said so many times, go to ACB, go to the police, go to the Attorney General, go to the District Commissioner, or report even to my office if you have evidence of that. But you know, there's always corruption. As long as there are people, there will always be people who have no integrity, you know, who try to, you know, to get things for free or steal things. I remember about 20 years ago, I think, Fahad Hassan, who was DPP then, he said that about 30% of things going are taken by corruption. So it's something that happens a lot. I mean, it always be there. Corruption is there. It is there throughout history. In biblical times, I remember those high priests. They're so corrupt. They were forcing people out from Nsembe, and what they did was to farm sheep outside, so that people can buy those sheep to do the Nsembe. You know what Nsembe is? Yeah. What's Nsembe in English? Sacrifice. That's sacrifice. To do that. So they make a big business. When Jesus Christ stopped them, they turned against him and they killed him. They have an interest. They were corrupt. So there's always corruption, but the sad thing here is that we have so little. Even developed countries, there's corruption everywhere. I remember the time when the whole European Commission was fired for corruption. So it happens everywhere. The sad thing is that we have so little here, that when they take the little we have, the country suffers, like what happened with Cashgate. Happened with Cashgate. Was Cashgate? Yeah, not Watergate, Cashgate. When I came in, as you know, the donors had left. I was the first president to run this country without bank support, without 40% deficit that was coming from the donors. It wasn't easy. It was a very difficult thing to do. But in spite of that, we managed to reduce inflation, we managed to reduce interest rates, and stabilize the exchange rate, and stabilize the economy. But it wasn't easy. So corruption is a cancer, and I'm glad that there's more funding for the ACB, FIA, and I know when I was president, or maybe when I was Minister of Justice, or both, we asked for help from the British government. So I had two people from the British government, one in Justice Department, one ACB, to help us with the technical aspects of fighting corruption. So we need to continue. But it must be collective, though. It must be everybody. Don't just sit back and expect only the president to do it. It's not possible for a president to know what's going on in the district council in Mulanje, or what's going on in this council in Zimba. It's not possible to know that. We need to have a lot of people who are able to monitor personnel, these various activities and these various places. We need to do that. You know, so we'll certainly continue, and I'm glad the government intends to continue to fight corruption, as they should. So I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, you have.
All right, thank you.
Sio mchichewa kwa anzatu amene amamva chichewa ndasangalala naso amve mawanu mchichewa sinzo kuti chifukwa chani munatenga nthawi yayitali munakulankhula mtundu wa Malawi kuti amve maganizo anu komanso china pa nkhani ya msonkhano waukulu wa Chipani pali mpunga kapena kumveka kuti chipani cha DPP chichititsa liti msonkhano waukulu kuti asankhe amene atsogolere ndi muna muthe kuti unikira pa nkhani imeneyo
ndithu mwachiwa ku MBC
Austin Kachipeya
sakutosa nchiro eno kubwera kuno akulisa nchiro aita kuti ndino makadeti so but I'm glad that you came. The first one yauje ni what was the first one? Oh, Chabon, yeah. Gomana Mutingresi. Mafunda pass a president in Mpata. And Chile president in Chile would have be. It's very difficult. I mean, some carry president. Sazio. In Chile would. Yo, would have been sure by my Ocean, my civil servants, by my minister, by my parastato, by my phone, I'm Charis, and 1 minute like it, but once. What did I deal with them? It's very difficult. They sometimes kumateka kupeza mistake. Anyway, mafunda pass a president Mpata. It's only 100 days. After we body possible carry president Umozi. Commence when Sakile criticized, couldn't tell the kind of wood and then pass Mpata. I support him. Commence Mukumbukia ku Sanjika Pais. I think you were there. The day the man Nanyamuka or before Nanya Guti Kiamba Dikwafunia president Bueno Zabuino Komanso Dipempe Amai Onse Muslemekeza official president. So president the head of state Komanso the head of Obama Komanso Urimia Ziko Kwa president Dintimo Ziko is the soul of the country. Muslemekeza president. Even Kasumun Konda Munchu as a person, find the head was equal to Mekeza. So I say that then is like the criticize our president I. Do I support him now? I support Ziko, the paper to go. Church of Funigan is Ziko. This is a personality, personal thing. Yeah. Untadi Samia, I guess about Ziko, the paper to go. Can you like to go Kazakh? So, like the support on that one. Kenya Convention. Mungana nkwa akali kuti pakali pano pa grumeta kazikisa faction review committee meneo ikukuma na pakali pano azakita report pa October 31st ndi atuze kuti bwachi sise bwanji kuti chipala chikaya cha mphamvu ndakachita report ife ku Central Committee kita study report on ndenzaitana National Governing Council Guya National Governing Council ndaitana kuri tizana report imene menakita recommendation kuzime tikavomeze kapasi omeza ndikazagwiza nakuti report imene tikuvomeza zimene akita recommend ndezaitana convention kuti so tisakoza Japan ndezaitana convention kuti sanke sogori waso pano and ready kwa kuti wafuna pa kantai pang'ono kuti koze Japan ndekuti so amina ufuna udindo mina konzeke ndipo zaka convention izaka open ameta wini mwachilungamo nzavita support kwa mina afuna kulanda Japan kwa kuti akagulisa kwina kwaje ine amina usingakita support chongo tipempa onsa DPP kuti tigwizani zimenezo timvane zimene kuti pali kantai pang'ono tikonze Japan convention izakiitika sikwezi nikukakamira president ayi ndi ready kusiya koma kuti ndangosiya pano zikha pachimati irresponsible it will be irresponsible koma zasiya pamene tiona kuti chipani chakonzeka kuti makandidate ali ready ndipo anthu apezeka makandidate amene afuna kuti kuyima kukhala president wa Japan komanso eventually president wa Ziko ndi amene atawine mwachilungamo ine amene nzamita support. So that's my answer. Yeah.
Ndinanga ndine Emmanuel Chibwana.
Yeah. From
Zodiac.
Zodiac, yeah.
Yes. Fosolanga soli nchichewa ndipo ndilochepa kwambiri. Mafani ngodziwa kuti chichokeni pa mpando wa president uzafika tsiku la lero. Mwalankhula ako ndi Dr. Chakwera pakatipa. Ubale wanu ndi otani?
Kuyamda pani?
Chisire ni mpando wa president kuzafika tsiku la lero. Mwalankhula nako ndi Dr. Chakwera pakatipa. Ubale wanu ndi otani?
I think imene njenga ja private ndikulipa manso sanke. Sanke I think it's better. in the interest of privacy, whether Tankwagabe Sankwani, Yanka Pakaibon, Kopasogon Zang, the Paiswaya Medicine for Yanka Pakaibon, Komanzan Kapasogo, believe me, Zanka, Zakuzan, Ismail Kujirik. Yeah. MBC. When MBC, 1, 2, who are the other 2? Oh, the camera, bro. And so, oh, I know that. Oh, okay, all right. Parena? Oh, you're done? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, good. This was easy. I thought this was easy. I shouldn't have waited this much to do this.
We may still wish to speak to
No, I can conclude. If I have no questions, let me say again that I'm very, very glad we sang out my way. I was under honor. Let's continue. Let's continue with the young kind of once in a while, just that communication. I'll try to do that. Team Bowman has my vote and has now can't be in this communication. But if I have more time, then the next group can next week. This morning, 3-hour interview this morning from 9 to 12. Also on the group Media House in against my editor in joining the editor Pakaipano. I'm very careful. I don't want to create problems for the new government. Therefore, I don't want to put obstacles in the way of the new president. I want to give him a chance to run this country. He won the election to run this country, and he put in his policies for the benefit of this country. And if necessary, once I see what they're doing, what their policies are, I'll comment or not comment. But at the moment, as I said, I'm still waiting. They're still getting, themselves together. In 90 days is not a long time. It's a complicated office. You have absolutely no idea what that job is like. It's a very difficult job. It's very difficult. And I was talking to a friend of mine, one of the Western countries, a president, and we were saying, look, I'm sure your job is easy. You only have 15 million people. I have so many 100 people. I said, my friend, artists have resources. I don't. I have to decide. Queen drama is what is better for education, Kabina is better for health, because it's better for infrastructure, Kabina is helping the youth. It's not easy to make those decisions. So any decision you make, group will stand in drama, they will be happy. So be against you. So it's a very difficult job to do. You have to make those choices and decisions. Yes, sometimes we make mistakes. I'm sure we do. But I always say that if we made a mistake, it's not out of evil, it's out of error of judgment. When we made the decision, we thought we were making them in the best interest of the country, in our judgment. Maybe sometimes we are wrong. But if we're wrong, then so be it. But whatever we did in good faith for the benefit of this country, and I enjoyed the 6 years that we're in government. I think we tried our best. You've seen what we did, the infrastructure in the country, at the universities. You go to MAST, you go to UNIMA, you go to Polytechnic, you go to Nzuni, you go to WANA, you see infrastructure everywhere. We did that. And then infrastructure in the country, the interchange in Lilongwe. We're planning to have one at Gishiri, which is this gentleman when he was chairman of Roads Authority. We're planning to have one in Gishiri. I also planning to have an overpass from Clock Tower in Blantyre to the robots there, Victoria Avenue, and from there to Mount Sochi and back to Clock Tower. I want an overpass because that road is you can't expand it with our stores, buildings. So it's done. In Cincinnati, Ohio, if you go there, miles and miles overpass, everything above. I wanted to do that in Blantyre, and of course we had other plans here, Mangochi, the international airport, the new city, my 5-star hotel. I want to turn this to Acapulco of Africa. We're going to do that. So we have a lot of plans that I'm hoping that my successors can continue with some of the good policies. That's why we now have National Planning Commission. We've adopted these projects, so they don't say, oh, you program Tariq Amini, we're not going to do it. You see, that will continue for the benefit of this country. It's a really race. You run your quarter mile and give to somebody else, baton somebody else to go until you finish. That's how it works. So I wish my successor well and the government well for the benefit of this country. So thank you again for coming here to see me, and we hope to see you next time you are in Mangoish. This is Mwambi. I'm going to say thank you.
Marisa tsopano tikuona kuti akongozekedza kuti akhoza kuyenda choncho wakambapo zinthu zambiri ndithu zomwanena zokhuza chipanimo ndi zina zotero. Ndithokoze kwambiri makamaka anzanga amene anayesetsa kuti zimenezi zikhale pa wireless komanso pa television. Ndithokoze Gabriel Kamulomo, Hezekiah Namonde, komanso Kondwani Kalambule, Pilini Chimbali poyesetsa kuti zonsezi zitheke. Ndithu tunena pano Professor Zapita Mutharika kutuluka chipinda chimenechi ndithu pang'ono ndithu kusati weva pamene pacha ulendo tsopano ndithu akufunsa kuti kodi amene ali pa microphone ndi ndani. Ndithokoze kwambiri, muli ndine Emmanuel Chibwana, nziko kwambiri.